If you were to ask me, what is the best phone of 2022 that I used so far? It's no surprise for those who followed me for a while that it would easily be the Vivo X80 Pro. And realistically, it's one of my all-time favorite phones that have been released for a while, with the only close one being of course the Mi 11 Ultra when it comes to high-end phones. Heck, I would even call them premium phones. While no phone is perfect, the Vivo X80 Pro just hits a lot of marks that are key for a great user experience, and of course for those who want that amazing versatile camera experience. Now of course it does miss out on those basics that I find very important and would make this phone that much better by simply having the 3.5mm headphone jack and of course micro SD. But well, it simply isn't the case. It doesn't have it, but if it did, this probably would be my all-time favorite phone released. And I'm not underestimating those two basic features, what it can mean for the user. I know many people would enjoy having those features. This includes me, this includes my brother, and this includes, hi David. But enough of that. Let's begin with the user experience, where a lot is done so well. Beginning with simply unlocking the phone, the fingerprint scanner. This fingerprint scanner is miles ahead of any phone out there because of this second generation ultrasonic fingerprint scanner, having not only a larger area to work with, but also just far faster and more reliable as well, making unlocking this phone so good. If you haven't used this, trust me, it's miles better than any other pretty bad 2D camera fingerprint scanner most phones have. Did I already mention that I really like the fingerprint scanner and every company should follow suit when it comes to said fingerprint scanner because it's really good? Did I already convey that message to you? Then we go to software. Of course, this is pretty much a preference here, but there are some key things that I think everyone can agree with. While you're on the display and slide down from anywhere, the notifications will show up, making one-handed use on a larger phone like this a bit easier. And the same of course goes for the app drawer. Slide up anywhere and the screen will appear with all the apps that you have. This is simply a step that has been forgotten by some brands, and it's such an easy thing that makes the user experience that much better. What doesn't help though in return are the ads. If you install or uninstall an app, yes, ads will be a thing. Now, while I find this not very bothersome for myself, I think for a phone like this, ads shouldn't be a thing. And I think they need to remove that for this price. But for me, it doesn't destroy my user experience, and that is the most important thing. And in terms of updates, I get regular updates. Currently, I'm running the security patch of October 22, which is of course pretty solid, seeing how I recorded this audio in the beginning of November. And overall with updates, they were just some tweaks and some fixes, but nothing really massive in terms of updates. Then let's talk about the obvious high note, a really high note. This is the amazing camera experience. Not perfect, but we'll get to that in a bit. But what isn't there to like about it? We get a versatile camera experience with having of course that larger main sensor, an ultra wide, a periscope, and of course your regular telephoto. With of course size optics. Yes, a side collaboration that I have enjoyed so much. Not only does Vivo do an amazing job processing images, it also allows you to play around with the camera. Seemingly regular and random shots just get character by adding their filters. If I would call that, I would more call it a style. One of their styles that I really like is of course that vintage filter. It's clearly my favorite, including the natural as well. But allowing me to capture those moments how I want it from my pocket has been a real pleasure, and that makes this such a good camera experience. And while yes, the hardware is only as good as the one that uses it, it without a doubt helps to have the possibility to make much more of a shot because of what they achieved here. This is why I'm in such a mixed bag between this and the Mi 11 Ultra.
Jermaine.
Yes?
Can I intervene a little bit? I heard you talking about the Vivo X80 Pro.
Yes, but who are you?
Oh, it's me.
Okay, that doesn't help at all.
Oh, sorry. Barry.
Oh, Barry Allen. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes it.
No, Barry Johnson. Wait. Why would you think Barry Allen?
Don't worry. What is it?
Well, I heard you talking about the Vivo. While you're at it, do you mind if I share my experience?
Sure. Magic appearing. Barry. What the fuck is going on? Do your thing, man. Anyway.
Everyone, Barry Johnson and not Barry Allen. 2 years ago, I was approached by Juan Carlos Bagnell, and he asked me something simple. Do I want to try out a Vivo? And he sent me a Vivo X70 Pro. I played with it, I got to learn it, and I did, in fact, enjoy the device. And as luck would have it, Vivo reached out to me and said, hey, do you want to try the Vivo X80 Pro? And I have to say, one of the carry-on features on the X80 Pro is the fingerprint sensor. And you can see here that it has such a large landing pad, such a game changer. I personally feel that fingerprint sensors in the power button are the best placement for it. However, I am totally okay with the Qualcomm-based fingerprint sensor that Vivo has chosen to use. It has really changed the way I look at phones, and that started with the IQ9 Pro and carried on to the Vivo X80 Pro. So that was the first thing. The second thing was camera. This Vivo X80 Pro is the first phone that got me really into smartphone photography. I thought I was in photography before, but nothing compared to this Vivo X80 Pro. And what's great for us as the consumer is I feel that every phone manufacturer has really stepped up and taken it to the next level over time. So the thing that I'll point out that I like about this, I think the Pro mode is extremely robust. Combined with the HDR capabilities, it allows me to really make simple adjustments, i.e. if I'm shooting in daytime, all I do is drop the ISO down to its lowest speed and I adjust the shutter when I'm looking at the sky. I'll show a couple of shots that I have to say that I've always been impressed with this. So here's a shot compared to the Xiaomi 12S Ultra, and this is the second part that I like. As much as I love the 12S Ultra, there are times where if you look at the main subject matter, you'll see a little bit of softness, and that typically never happens on the Vivo. But I have to say, the Vivo has changed the way I look at smartphone photography. It is definitely one of my favorite phones of 2022, and I'm truly excited to see what they do in the future, because I feel like some of the things that they're doing from an algorithm standpoint is stronger than everyone else, and they just need to upgrade the hardware just because competitors have started to use larger sensors than even this particular Vivo. Third is the performance. One thing that I've noticed about Vivos that I have used is outside of the cameras, even though that's kind of my main focus, is just the gaming performance or the sustained performance that you get out of their processors, whether it's an 8th Gen 1, 8th Gen Plus. It seems like they always perform slightly better than some of their competition, like a Samsung, for example.
Hey, Barry.
Excuse me?
Barry, wherever you are, can I go back to my video, please?
All right, you're right. My point was made. Throwing it back to Jermaine.
I mean, thank you for your interruption and, of course, giving your opinion, but I kind of want to go back to my video and finish this. Anyway, that was Barry. Don't forget to check him out. Link in the description. Now let's continue with the video.
So after this interruption from Barry, somehow knowing that I was talking about the Vivo X80 Pro, I will have to say that the Vivo X80 Pro has been my favorite. There's one thing that I would like to see a little bit better for the Vivo X90 Pro Plus, because oh man, I cannot wait for that phone. But the one thing that I will say is the angles of photography. What do I mean by this? Well, sometimes you want to have a shot low to the ground and you're looking down on the phone itself. The brightness of the display isn't always enough, especially when the sun is out. I can still see it, but it's not really bright enough where I can really see it properly. I can see it, but it's just not bright enough in those situations. Either way, that's the only little gripe that I have with it, where I feel like they could do a little bit better.
So the Vivo X80 Pro, no surprise, is still my favorite device of 2022. It's an excellent phone and I love photography and the possibilities that I get on the Vivo. It's so good, especially if you do want images that have some character to it, right? Vivo does that excellent. Sony still does it best, I think, but Vivo is a close second here. I just have so much praise about this phone, even though it misses out on the basics that would make this device perfect for me. For me, of course, it all depends on other people, how they find their phone important. Hi David, I know you want it to be smaller, but it isn't. But apart from, you know, the size and the lack of the 3.5mm headphone jack micro SD, it really is an excellent phone, trust me. But of course, it is really a shame to not see the 3.5mm headphone jack in this and the micro SD, especially for a phone that it has a lot of focus on the camera itself. It just makes a lot of sense to then have that micro SD even more so. Either way, the Vivo X80 Pro held up really well and it's still my favorite device of 2022, even though it misses those basics that I care for. It's almost a perfect device, but because of those basics, it's not perfect. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this look back at the Vivo X80 Pro, even though it's quite new. And of course, let me know what you think about the Vivo X80 Pro and what you are looking for in a phone. David, I know, a smaller phone. I know. Yeah, there's not much I can do about that one. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this video and talk to you guys in the next.